Hello and welcome to Data Detectives. In the last videos, we have started a project on exploratory data analysis using Python on Stack Overflow Data Annual Developer Survey 2022. So in the first video of this series, we have imported our data and we have imported the explanations file, which is schema file also. Then we have extracted all the relevant data on which we are going to do our analysis. Then we started data cleaning and data pre-processing. In the second part, we clean our data and we processed it. We selected important columns, like we have selected 42 columns overall to do our analysis. Okay, then we converted the data types of few columns, like the learn code, years code. uh, Years code was a float variable. We converted it into a numerical variable. Similarly, years code pro was also object variable type, object data type, which was converted into the numerical data type. Okay, then we saw the basic description, basic statistics of all the numerical variables, like years code, year code pro, compensation total, work experience, and converted compensation in yearly basis. Okay, then we started our pre-processing or column transformation analysis, in which we saw that there were number of columns with number of categories available in that column, separated by either comma or semicolon. So for that purpose, we created a function with the name split multi-column, which takes the column series and converts into data frame with each categories as which each distinct categories is a column, and the rows is giving the value true or false, whether it contains that uh, extracted whether it contain that column words or not. However, then we sum those data frame, and when arranged in the descending order, we can get the category wise distribution in particular column. Okay, so in this video, what we are going to do is we will start our univariate analysis on the important columns of the data frame. So to start with, we will first of all see the data frame, which was survey.df. So this is our data frame, original data frame, with 42 columns and approximately 73,000 rows. Now let's see the data types and the null values using the survey underscore df. So from this we can see non-null values and the data types of all the columns. Okay, so let's start our univariate analysis. So first we are going to select the first column, which is the main branch, and it will be selected by survey underscore df main branch. So we have selected the column. Now let's count the values using value counts. So from this we can see that I am a developer by profession has the highest number of respondents in this survey. Okay, now if we want to plot this table into a bar chart or a count plot, we can plot it using the Seaborn library. So let's start with sns dot count plot. So count plot is just calculating or counting the number of occurrences in the data frame for a particular category in a column. So we are passing here the series, which is survey underscore df dot main branch. So this should generate our plot. We have generated our plot and we are also able to see the counts, but the x-axis labels are not clearly uh, visible, as they are overlap with each other. So to remove this error, what we are going to do is we will increase the size of the plot using plt.figure and giving fixed size 12,6. Okay, so it will increase the size. However, there's still overlapping. So what we will do is we will change the orientation of the x text, that is the x label, and we will rotate it by, let's say, 75 degrees. So from this we can see that I am a developer by profession has the highest number of count, which is more than 50,000, and the same was verified from the table also. Then we have I am learning a code which is approximately 6200, and the same can be verified from the visualization. So this was the univariate analysis for those columns where we have distinct categories. However, as we have already seen that, let's suppose take the survey underscore df. This is the main data frame, and let's select the employment column. And if we see the value count for each and every column, so here we can see that there are number of categories separated by commas and semicolon. Like if we see this, we can see that, and here it is mentioned the respondent had mentioned employed as well as full-time, then it has also mentioned student full-time, then it has also mentioned student part-time. It has then mentioned the respondent has mentioned independent contractor, freelancer, or self-employed. So there are number of categories in a single entry. So what we are going to do is we will use our split multi-column function that we have created in the previous video to separate this out. So we will do survey underscore df dot employment. So this is our column, this is our series that on which we are going to apply the split multi-column function. This is a split multi-column function, and we are going to pass this as the argument. So here we have generated the table which is giving the true or false whether the category lies in that field or not. Okay, now we are going to sum it. So we have applied the aggregate function, and then we have then the output which we are available with is having the number of counts for each separate category. However, let's arrange it in the descending order so as to find which has the highest occurrence. So we will use sort underscore values, and we will give ascending equals to false. So from this we can see that the employed has highest number of occurrences, which is approximately 49,000, and then we have student, which is approximately 11,000 occurrences. Okay, so as this is the survey from the Stack Overflow, so we can say that number of respondents belong to a certain category which is employed full-time. Okay, now if we want to create this visualization, so we will use the bar plot. So we will first increase the size of the plot by giving the fixed size. Let's say we use 12,6. Then we also rotate the x ticks. We will also rotate the x ticks, and we will give the rotation equals to 75. Okay, now let's plot SNS dot bar plot. Okay, so either we can give the complete command, this complete code in this bar plot, or we will, let's save this in a variable name employment count. Okay, so we have given it a name. What we will do is we will give the x-axis employment count dot index. So we will using this index of this employment underscore count series, and for y-axis we will give its value, which is employment underscore count only. Let's plot it. So from here we can see that our visualization, this is bar plot, has been plotted. So from here also we can see that the employed is the highest number of occurrences, then we have student, and so on. Okay, so we have seen the categorical analysis for two types of column, where we have used column which has already distinct categories, and also we have seen a column where we have created the separate categories using the split multi-column function. Okay, so as there are number of other categories also, we can use the same plot. So let's do the visualization for the remote work also. So what we will do is we will take this plot, or before doing the visualization part we can see whether there are separate categories available or not. So survey underscore df dot remote work. So this is our categories. If we value count it, so here we can see that there are three distinct categories, so count plot will be suitable for the same. So we can copy paste the code that we have created earlier, and let's just replace the main branch with the remote work. So here we can see that the fully remote and the hybrid model and the fully remote model is approximately similar number of respondents. Then the full in person has very less values in comparison to remote work and the hybrid model. Okay, so this was another analysis. Then we can see the count plot for the ad level also. Doing the same type of analysis, you can observe that ad level has also distinct categories. So from this also we can see that the highest number of respondents belong to the bachelor's degree, then the second highest is master's degree, then we have some college and university study without earning a degree, then we have secondary school. Okay, so these are the top four categories from which the respondents have mentioned their education level. Similarly, we can do the analysis for other variables or other columns also. Let's see one more column. So as to strong our analysis, let's see the country from where the respondents has come. So let's select the survey df and let's see the countries that are available with us. And if we value count those, so we can see that there are number of countries that is available. So let's do first thing. If we want to see only the top 10 or top 20 values, first let's sort them in the descending order. So we will do is ascending equals to false, and on running this we will get in the ascending order, and what we will do is we will select only the top 10 values. Okay, so from this we can see that these are the top 10 countries with respondents. So here we can see that the USA has highest number of values, which is approximately 13,000. Then we have India, then we have Germany, then we have UK, Canada, France, Brazil, Poland, Netherlands, and Spain. So from this we can see that as the survey would be in English language, so the most number of respondents belongs to the English preferred countries. Okay, so if we want to plot this, let's save this table in a variable called country count. On saving the variable in country count, let's copy paste the plot code that we have created earlier for the for the employment. Okay, so we have copy pasted it, and let's and after changing the employment with country underscore df dot index and y-axis as country underscore, it's not country underscore df, it is country underscore count, and this is also country underscore count. So from this we can plot our bar plot. Okay, so first is your US, then India, then Germany, then we have Great Britain and Northern Ireland, then we have Canada, France, Brazil, Poland, Netherlands, and Spain. Okay, similarly we can do the same analysis for the age variable or age column also. So let's see the age. So this is the age column, and if we want to see the value counts, here we can see that there are distinct categories, so here we can use the count plot also. So let's copy paste the code that we have already created, and we will just change the remote over to age. So here we have plotted the categories in a count plot. From this, we can see that the number of respondents belong to mostly from 25 to 34 years of age group. Then the second highest is 18 to 24 years of age group. So most of the respondents that use Stack Overflow are from between 18 to 34 years of age group. Okay. From this, we can also find the percentage also. So if we want to calculate the percentage, we will divide it by the length function. So it will divide by length and also multiply by 100 underscore df. So this is the values that we can see, and if we multiply it by 100, so we can see that 38% belongs to the 25 to 34 age group. Then 18 to 24 belongs, 18 to 24 years of age group contains 22%. So if we add, we can see that more than 60% of the total respondents belong to 18 to 34 years of age group. Okay. Similarly, we can do the analysis on gender also. So let's see the gender survey underscore df and see the gender, and we value count this. So here we can see that a large number of respondents are men, then only 3300 or we can say that 3400 respondents are women. Then we have the prefer not to say, then we have the non-binary, then we have the other category. Okay, for this also we can plot a count plot or bar plot as you wish. Now let's see the univariate analysis for the numerical types column. Okay, so to see which are the numerical type columns, so if we see the info, so here we can see that years code is a numerical type column, years code pro is also a numerical type column, compensation total, and we have the work experience. So these bar plots and non plots can't be used for the numerical type because there would be so many categories. There would be so many categories for every numerical value. So to plot it, we will use the histogram plot. So we will give sns.thisplot, and what we are going to do is we will use the survey underscore df dot years code as our first numerical column to do the analysis. And if we just pass this, we can see that there is a decreasing trend as we increase the coding years, and most of the respondents belong to 0 to approximately 15 years of coding experience. However, we can increase the size However, we can decrease the size of the bins because there are number of bins. So to get the clear pattern, so let's give bins equals to 30. So here also we can see, from here also we can see that most of the respondents belong to 0 to 15 years of coding experience. So similar analysis we can do for the work experience also by changing the year score with work experience column. So here also we see the similar trend. Most of the respondents belong to 0 to 15 years of work experience. Okay. Similarly, we can plot the histogram plot for the year score pro. So you can do it yourself. It is a simple plot. We have to just replace the work experience with the year score pro. Okay. So this was our univariate analysis when we have that we have done on the important categories. There are number of categories on which you can do the same type of analysis and gain few insights about the trend, demographic trend, and other trends also. Now let's move to bivariate analysis. Okay. Now, let's start with bivariate analysis. Here, we are going to consider two variables for our analysis. In the univariate analysis, we consider one variable and use that variable or column for analysis. But in bivariate, we will compare two columns, either gender or on age, work experience versus gender, work experience versus age, and so on. So first analysis, what we are going to do is we will do so first let's see what are the columns that are available with us. So columns. So here we have columns. So here we can here you can see that there are two columns, that is language have worked with and language want to work with. Okay. So we will see which language have they worked with and which language they want to work with. So let's start. First of all, uh, let's see survey underscore df and language have worked with. So here we can see that it is also a column with multiple categories in each row. So what we will do is we will use split multi-column. Okay, we will use split multi-column and it will split our data. Okay, let's sum it and sort the values in the descending order. Okay, so let's give this a variable. Similarly, we will give b variable to languages want to work with. So let's copy the column name and paste it here. Okay, so this will be our variable 2. Now what will we do is we will first concatenate both the columns and make one data frame which will be df. We can name it combine df equals to pd dot concat. Okay, pd dot concat, and we will give a comma b as the columns and x is equals to 1. So it will be combined column wise. Okay, this is a combined df, and what we are going to do is we will plot combine df dot plot. And what type of plot we will be do plotting? It will be a bar plot, and let's give fixed size equals to 12 comma 6. we have plotted the bar chart for the languages that have worked with and languages want to work with. However, we can see that the legends is mentioned as 0 and 1. Okay, so how we are going to change it, because here we have not changed provided the column names. So let's give the column names, that is combined dot tf, and the column names will be work with, and next column will be want to work with. Okay, so let's run this again. So this will be our a1 column, which will be language have worked with. So this will be combined underscore df dot columns. Okay, now when we again plot, so here we can see that work with is the language work with is highest is JavaScript, and want to work with is also highest JavaScript. And we can see for each language, suppose if we see for SQL, uh, the percentage of work with is higher than the want to work with. Similarly here, however, if we see for this Go language and Rust language, the persons who are working presently is less than the persons who wanted to work on. Okay, now same analysis we can do on the two other columns, that is platform have worked with and platform want to work with. Okay, what we will do is we will just replace the column names and we will execute the same code that we have used for our previous analysis. Okay, so we have platform have worked with. So let's copy here want to work with. Let's copy this here. Okay, let's run both the code and we will do the same combined here, and it will be work with and want to work with. These are the platforms now, and this will be the plot. So here we can see that the highest number is AWS, the persons presently working is also highest, and the persons who want to work with is also highest for the AWS. Then we have Microsoft Azure, then we have Google Cloud, then we have Firebase, Heroku, and so on. So this is one type of bivariate analysis that we can do. Now let's do a bivariate analysis on another column, that is the main branch. Okay, so we have seen this analysis already. Here we have only selected the main branch. Now if we want to see the further bifurcation on the basis of remote work, so we can add here hue and is equals to underscore survey underscore df, and we will give remote work. Okay, so when we will give hue as a remote work, it will further bifurcate each category into fully remote, hybrid model, and full in person. So we can see that in the I am developer by profession category, the maximum number of employees are working as fully remote. However, a little less from the fully remote are working as hybrid model. But if we see, I'm not primarily a developer, but I write code sometimes as part of my job. So in that profession or that main branch type, we can see that the more numbers are for hybrid than for fully remote. Okay, so this type of insights we can also draw. Now we will see the relation between the education level and the coding years. Okay, so first of all, what we are going to do is we will copy this figure size and rotation, and now we are going to use a box plot. Why we are using box plot? Because education level is a categorical column and our coding years is a numerical column. So we can't use a bar plot, we will use a box plot to understand what is the bifurcation inside each category. So this is survey underscore df. So we have plotted the box plots. Here we can see that this is IQR, which is interquartile range. This is first quartile, and this is third quartile, which is 75% and 25%. So if we see that master's degree have a higher IQR than the bachelor's degree. Okay, it means that the persons who are in master's degree have more years of coding experience than the bachelor's degree, which is okay. And also the other doctoral degree has higher number of, okay, from for bivariate analysis between numerical column and categorical column. The best plot is box plot. Here we can see some of the outliers which are present. Okay, so the same analysis we can do on the gender column as well as years pro column. So let's copy the code. This is the same as above. We just change the name of the code, which is survey underscore df dot gender and survey underscore df dot years code pro. This is given as x and y column. So here we can see that if we see the comparison between men and women, here we can see that the coding years, pro coding years of experience is higher for men, but it is less for women. So more men has higher coding experience than men. Okay, so this is the one analysis. Next we can see the analysis between the gender and the work experience also. In the above we see between the gender and years code pro. Now we are going to see the the analytics between the gender and work experience. So we are using the same code. So here also we can see that the men have a higher experience, work experience, than the women. Okay, so our most of the analysis has been completed. So if we see the recap of this project, what we have done is we have first imported our data, then we have cleaned our data and transformed our data. Basically we pre-process it so that we can do a further analysis. We also see that there are some data type changes. We converted the data types. Okay, then what we have done is the columns where there are multiple categories mentioned in the multiple categories mentioned in each of the row, we have transformed into a single categories, and we observe the number of counts for each category. So this was done by split multi-column function. Similarly, then we started our univariate analysis. I have shown some of the analysis. However, we can do analysis on each and every column, so to gain more understanding about the data. After univariate analysis, both in categorical column with distinct categories and the categorical column with multiple categories, and also univariate analysis on numerical column. We have done all three of them. Then we switched to bivariate analysis. So in bivariate analysis, we started with languages want to work with and languages already working with. Similarly, for the platform level also, we have understood what are the platforms most prominent in want to work with and presently working with. Then we plotted a count plot. There are much more plots than we plot, like comparison between the gender and work experience, age and work experience, remote work, main branch, education level, and remote work. You can perform various bivariate analysis. I have shown some of them, like count plot that we have plotted. Similarly, we have plotted a box plot also for comparison, for analysis between the categorical column as well as the numerical column. So from this we can make our insights for this project. So thank you.